I didn't know there was this much green in the whole galaxy.
Hey guys, welcome back to Hoth off the press. We left you for a little bit. Curio decided that he wanted to go to the happiest place on earth. It's Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Those dolls creep you out at the Small World. Did you read that?
That's a given. You literally have to ride the Small World every time you're there. It's just you have to.
Fair enough. So, we have a lot to talk about this week. CG came out guns a-blazing this week with tons of information for us, and we're going to dive into it. And this week, we're going to start it out with the meta report. Curio, what did we see?
So this is the leader portion of the meta report. So we have Palp up 1%, RJT up 1%, Rex nothing, CLS down 1%, Towson and Ventress nothing, Akbar nothing, Thrawn up 1%, GK nothing, and Crew nothing. So that's really the leadership sort of wrap up. Did you have anything you wanted to add about the leadership?
Just other than the fact that I'm kind of surprised that we're not seeing a bigger influx of Rex and Thrawn leads to the pool, because it seems like they'd be direct counters. I haven't played a whole lot around with those characters as leaders in my own arena shards. I'm just aboard the Emperor Palpatine train still. But it seems like they'd be direct counters, so I'm really surprised that we're not seeing a bigger counter to the pendulum swinging back, that people start running those Rex and start running those Thrawns as lead to counter all the EP teams. But maybe it's just not good enough. We may touch on that a little bit later on.
Absolutely.
What did we see out of the character?
This is the character portion of it. Thrawn is up 1%. That's to be expected. GK is down 2%. How the mighty have fallen. Palpatine nothing. Nihilus nothing. No gains, no losses. Vader down 1%. R2D2 nothing. And then here's the big gain of the week. Scion is up 2%. RJT is up 1%. BB-8 is up 1%. And then Raid Han is down 1%. So what I'm gleaning out of this is RJT and BB-8. They're kind of the new toys of the week. People got them opened. They wanted to play with them. Now, Vader down 1%. And I think we know why. And we were talking about this offline. Is because the interactions between Scion and Darth Nihilus, if you are to put debuffs on Scion, Nihilus gains turn meter. And that is just put the brakes on the turn meter train that Emperor Palpatine runs, right? Like, you're used to just force crushing, cooling blades, AoE shock, and, you just go off, right? Well, Scion and Darth Nihilus say, nope, if you use your abilities on me, I'm going to gain, or if I gain debuffs, my boy gets to go first, and you don't get to play no more. You don't get to play with abilities for a turn. Because of Nihilus's Drain Force. That was my take on it. Did you have anything that you wanted to talk about on that?
Well, just real quick, the fact that, people are obviously cutting out Vader from their EP teams, which is interesting. I'm not sure what they're fueling in, because obviously we don't have access to Traya yet. There's some people that are getting pretty close, but those are the elite of the elite. But I'm not sure what they're replacing him with. The other thing is that if you do run him, I mean, don't have to do that Force Crush, boys. You can just sit there and lead in with his basic, get that ability block on their Palpatine or their Nihilus. It sucks that RNG is dictating whether or not you get that ability block. I don't like that fact, but it's a reality is that you're probably not ever going to be leading off with Force Crush against a Scion and Nihilus on the opposing side while you're running Empire.
So that wraps up a nice little bow on the meta report. There was a couple of videos that we really want to point you guys in the direction. This is kind of the whole point of the show, is to point you in the great content that is out on YouTube. Mad Dad, what is the great content out on YouTube right now?
Well, there is a lot of content coming out on YouTube. The developers met with several of the game changers. We started out by seeing Arnold T101 this week, and he got some juicy details for us in the form of Bosk is coming to the game.
It's happening.
Yes, it's happening. Don't get me wrong. I think I would have preferred to see Django or Jabba, but you know, we'll take it. So we got Bosk coming to the game. He's going to be a tank. My understanding is that he's going to be a pre-taunt or a pre-tank. You know, where he comes in with taunt already activated. His leadership. He's going to have a leadership that obviously synergizes with other bounty hunters. So there's a lot to build off there. What is it? The developers have said that they're probably not going to be too relevant in your arena, but they're going to be super relevant in PvE content. It's easy to pretty much scoop them up. We also will see reworks to Boba Fett. We'll be seeing reworks to Greedo, to Dengar, and GD.
And the reworks, there's a little bit of nuance to the reworks. The rework for Boba Fett literally might just be adding the contract mechanic to him. That's the big spillage out of the developer interview, was that they're all going to receive a great mechanic called contracts. Now, this might lend credence to more of the fact that why they're going to be PvE centrist, because the contracts, we're not exactly certain. It is either going to be character driven or faction driven. So you're going to walk into a fight, and if your contract for your team is available on the other team, if you kill that character or a part of that faction, your team is going to receive buffs throughout the rest of the fight.
So that's pretty much Arnold's video and what we saw out of him over there. We also saw Half-Face01. He got to interview CG Carey and CG Top Hat, same as Arnold and same as the next person as well. So just real quick on Half Faces, it was basically centered around mod management, and CG kind of gave their go-to answer as of late, which has been that it's coming. We don't know when. The reason why they needed to handle it with a gentle hand. One, when you start talking about 6 and 7 dot mods, that relegates our 5 dot mods that we've all been farming for so long to the waste bin. So that's something that they need to definitely address with that. They also need to address the fact that they said this and admitted this, that speed probably plays too much of a function in mods. There should be some other attributes that you should be chasing after besides just speed. So they're handling it with the kid gloves on, and hopefully they do a really good job, because I think that's a real big contender for a hotbed of problems.
It's totally a drive, because like you said, if they are to release these 7 dot mods in the same sort of overarching abilities where speed is paramount, oh my god, the phones will be thrown across the room, because I have, like, my best mod is like a 20 speed mod, and that's my baby, man. Like that's like Thor's hammer to me. So, so, so yeah.
Definitely. And so then, of course, they went on for a little bit about how we want to see how we can move all of our mods from one character to the next character. And they had said that initially they wanted it as a downside to switch your mods, so that way you would just earn mods for different characters and whatnot. But when push comes to shove, ultimately the players went a different direction than the developers saw. And so now they're trying to meet in the middle of the road, giving the players what they want with that. So it's coming, boys, but it's going to be a minute. The last video that we saw was from DB Official, and it was on ships. Um, this was kind of a neat one. I know that ships are real hit or miss for some people, so please bear with us if you're not excited about ships. But PVE, a ship holo table, is going to come out. So I don't know if it's going to be like a galactic war scenario, but it sounds pretty similar to that, but for ships. And then you're going to have your own shop that's going to be associated with that, with the currency. We don't know what characters or what ships or if character pilots or ships are going into that store. We don't know what that store is going to hold. In other words,
Yeah.
Hopefully it will be Shore Trooper and Death Trooper.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much what we saw from the developers on those videos. But there was some other stuff that the developers released this week. Curio, what else were they saying is coming to the game?
And before we get going, you did a really good job. I explained to me who the developers were and how eloquent and how well they were doing with this delivery on those interviews. It was Carrie and Top Hat.
Yep.
And yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with that. I just kind of wanted to give a clap out to them because each interview they did, they really were able to deliver a lot of information in a short amount of time. So I just want to give them some props on that.
They definitely seemed like they came out very approachable and very knowledgeable and very passionate about the game without seeming condescending or.
Yeah.
And I think that was really nice. It was probably some of the best work I've seen from devs, like actually talking to their communities. And CG, please, let's keep this up. Let's keep the lines of communication.
Absolutely.
Don't just do this for something else, like another mobile game that just dropped, maybe.
Let's
keep this up forever. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Impress me.
And along those lines, another thing that was released to us in an information packet was we're going to get a third part. Or I'm sorry, we're not going to have to use a third party in-game chat. So they're going to deliver to us a chat system in game. They promised to deliver the ability to whisper to a player, set up rooms inside of your chat. So like officer only chats. Hopefully, you'll be able to separate into like a territory war chat, much like a Discord server, but it's going to be in game. And this was something that was needed. And I really like that like you said, they're putting in some effort right now. And I don't know if it's a scramble or if it's a genuine effort to really improve what they have with their game. And I like the in-game chat feature coming. I don't know if folks are going to get away from their Discord channels. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but it is nice to have that option.
I think it depends if they hold the chats as long as Discord does, because Discord, you can go back for a complete day and see everything, whereas right now in game you don't have that option. I think that the other thing is that it's really great to have this system in place, because now I don't have to exit out of my game while I'm in the middle of doing something to tell somebody something. Like for instance, if I'm on my arena shard, chat, I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, well, I'm going to lock you now, so that way nobody can attack you at the end of our payout here. This is a step in the right direction, and I wish we had seen this just a little bit sooner. But props to you, CG. Good job. That we saw in addition to all of this is that we're getting another Han and another Chewie.
Yes, I needs them.
Yeah, we all want the 5 Han team. No, but it's a tie into the movie. The movie's coming out in May. A lot of people are really pumped on it. The Childish Gambino being a big part of that. We'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really want a fifth Han. I'd rather have one Jabba and four Hans, but what do I know? So yeah, I think that was pretty much the pertinent news that we saw this week. Hey guys, I know we're trying out something new with our formatting. Unfortunately, there was some audio degradation that happened toward the end of what me and Curiel shot earlier today. So this is kind of like the closing remarks, if you will. Sorry you're getting me super large again. Speaking of which, if you like the new format as opposed to the old format, comment down below. If you don't like it, comment that too. We're looking for feedback, positive, negative, whatever it is. While we're talking about down below in the description, you're going to find links to everything that we talked about today, be it the videos, CG talking about anything, the AMAs, everything is going to have a link in the description. And along with that, you're also going to find our Discord channel. We just started that this week. And we also started a Patreon. The Patreon page is still under construction, so bear with us while we're fixing that. If you don't have the means to support us on Patreon, that's not a big deal. To be honest with you, just having you here and liking and viewing and subscribing and commenting on videos is always more than enough. We just appreciate any role that you guys want to take with us in the future on this channel. So we're also going to be doing a question of the week this week. We have a question about Thrawn leadership. Curiel's been talking about actually making the swap over due to all the Emperor Palpatine-led teams that he's seeing on his shard. But it doesn't seem like anybody else is really going after Thrawn for his leadership right now. Why is that? That's the question we want to pose to you guys. So Thrawn, love him, hate him as a leader with, Shore Trooper, Magma Trooper, there's a lot of different variants, Death Trooper, whatever it is. Why aren't we seeing that as a huge, counter to the Empire teams? So, again, that's the question of the week. Please leave your comments down below on it. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe if you can. It makes the world of difference to us. And from Curiel and from Mad Dad, we'll see you guys in game.